What up? First episode. Awesome. Excited for this. We're going to get right into it. Going to talk about the greatest movie ever created.
What mission?
Peace in our time.
Created.
Whoa.
Deadpool and Wolverine. And man, you know how I feel, so I got to speak it. And man, almost $1 billion and it's only been 2 weeks.
Greatest
So,
movie ever created. I mean, do you not see my background? But
I don't want to say look at my background because it's naked still, but so right, our special guest, as you can see, is Sir Pop the Bounty Collector, aka Ricky. How's it
what
going,
up?
man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Here to talk about the movie of the summer. The movie of the summer, man. Everything that everybody been waiting for. I know you've seen it like, I don't know, 20 million times.
It's
I
21,000.
think weren't you in the movie too? Weren't you one of the pools running out?
I was one of the pools in the background.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah. The
couldn't you
way
couldn't
back.
see me.
Way back.
I was Spanish pool.
They let you have your mustache and
Uh
everything.
huh.
Nice. Nice.
That's funny, but so we're just gonna talk about first reactions of the video movie. Then we'll dive more deep into it. We'll talk about all the cameos again. Everybody, if you are watching this, if you haven't seen the movie, what are you doing? It's been a
Yeah,
long time, but
exactly. It's
we're gonna
spoiler
see. Yeah,
alert, big time.
spoiler warning. But just want to get your first reactions of the movie. What'd you think about it?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It could be that a couple of reasons. One, man, we haven't had Deadpool for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had Deadpool for a while, and I feel like we needed that. Hugh Jackman, come on, man. Wolverine is back.
For sure.
The way I could say a movie is good is I just look to my right and see my girlfriend, and she's
Mm-hmm.
the one, and she said 10 out of 10 will see again. So if she said that and she watches Marvel movies, don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
she hasn't seen all the X-Men, I believe. She hasn't seen all the Deadpool movies. She saw the first Deadpool movie.
Mm-hmm.
And for her to say that this was 10 out of 10, I'm like, wow, that was pretty big. And she didn't even want to see the movie.
Oh
She didn't
no.
even want to see the movie. She's
Oh
like,
no.
yeah. So I said, babe, let's go ahead and watch Deadpool on Friday. The Friday, no, it came out Thursday, it came out Thursday, but we
Mm-hmm.
went that Friday. And then she's like, can I be honest with you? And when I hear that, can I be honest with you? I know it's not good.
Yeah.
She's like, I really don't want to see it. So I'm like,
Oh
I'm like,
man.
great. I'm gonna be the only guy in the movie theaters with a couple over here on this hand at the side and a couple on this side, and me just eating the popcorn by myself. Then later on in the day, she's like, "So what time you wanted to see Deadpool?" And I'm like,
What
"Now
the
you want to see it?"
hell?
And then now when tickets are all sold out, I mean, I'm telling you about. I don't know about where you at out there
Mm-hmm.
in the West Coast, but here in Orlando, Florida, everything was sold. Like if you wanted to see it in like IMAX or any
Mm-hmm.
type of HD 4K screen, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
good luck. Was sold
Yeah.
out.
Oh.
Sold out. So I found a theater. It wasn't HD, it wasn't 3D, but at least it was a theater, 2 seats above, and I got to watch it. And like I said, just amazing. What about
Yeah.
you, man?
For me, you already know I'm gonna say 100 out of 10. Cause I mean I got my tickets right when I had my notifications on for Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, and he posted when the tickets went up on sale. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I woke up to his notification and directly bought those tickets. Directly
Oh,
bought those tickets, midnight release. Because I was like, nobody is gonna spoil this movie for me.
yes.
And I'm
It was
glad because the cameos and everything going on in this movie was crazy. Like I had my jaw dropped the whole time, every single second of the movie.
it
So,
they you could tell, like, so I want to say this was what was it, 4 years or 3 years ago, they made some type of announcement
Hmm.
about this movie gonna happen, and it's cool. It's cool that none of that stuff leaked
Yeah.
at all. They
Hmm.
was like kind of like wishing that, oh, I wish this would happen. I wish this would happen. And I'm surprised I didn't get spoiled
Hmm.
at all. And it was a whole 24 hours after it came out. And I
Yeah.
try to stay, with me and YouTube and Instagram, it's hard to stay away from social media when I'm posting shorts and all that stuff. But
Hmm.
thank God I didn't open my phone and I saw a leak. So
Yeah. I had my, because those, there's some people that get a day or two early screenings, so I turned off all my notifications for Instagram and TikTok and all that. I was like, nobody is ruining this movie. Because when that announcement that you're talking about is when Ryan Reynolds was sitting on the couch and then
mhm.
he was talking about what Deadpool and what to do, and then Hugh Jackman walked right behind him. When I saw that little intro to announce that Deadpool was being made, yo, I jumped out of my seat.
Yeah, I love because it was sad when Logan was a good movie.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, and obviously it was sad at the end. Logan dies. Spoiler if you haven't watched Logan. If you haven't watched Logan, why are you
Oh
watching
man,
this? Come
you
on.
definitely shouldn't be watching Deadpool if you haven't watched Logan.
So, but it was sad too in the sense that he did announce that was going to be his last time
Hmm.
playing Wolverine, and I'm like, come on, man, he has to come back. So when I see that he came back for
Hmm.
Deadpool, I was like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess the story, it's you have to make it make sense in a sense,
Yeah,
but just having him there, just it was a is a win for me. It was just a
yeah,
win.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I was iffy too because they're like, I saw that he was coming back, but I was like, I wonder how they're gonna incorporate him because they had such a great farewell to his
Yeah.
character. So I was it's awesome that they incorporated the MCU variants and there's different timelines and all that. So I was like, okay, they're able to introduce him back into the cinema. But
That TVA. The
yeah, it was
TVA, the TVA and the multiverse, and that was a good thing that now we could see other characters. It was good to see that part during the movie where you were just talking about all the different Wolverines. That was awesome. Sorry.
I
All
don't
those
know about
different
you.
Wolverines.
I don't know about you, but when he went to see the Short King, Wolverine, yeah, that had me rolling. And when he had to hop out of the chair,
Out of the bar stool. Yeah,
and
that was
When
hilarious.
Deadpool acknowledged his little hop, I was like, "Yo, this is
Well,
hilarious."
and you know what? But it's funny because technically, in the comic books, Wolverine's short.
Yeah, I think he's like 5'2" or something, or even shorter than that. He's
Yeah,
supposed to
like
be his
5'1",
height.
5'2". So he's short
Hmm.
compared. He's just, a lot of people love him because he's just a badass, and got them
Yeah.
claws. But yeah,
And it
he
was
is
funny. He's
short.
like you, he's like comic book accurate Wolverine.
Yeah.
That had me rolling. So in the whole movie, not to go too into detail into it, what was your most favorite part or like most memorable moment out of the whole movie?
There is so many, but the one that just got me because the simple fact that the project got canceled was Gambit, bro. I'm sorry. Janet Tatum as Gambit is like
Yeah, I'm about to make a
his
name for myself.
woo, about to make a name for myself. Yeah. Okay, so I think his accent was terrible on purpose because
Yeah,
everything he said was hilarious, but it was still, in a sense, like Gambit talks like that. The
yeah,
Bayou,
he has the Cajun
Louisiana,
accent. Yeah.
accent. So, but man, Channing Tatum, that was hilarious. It wasn't the only thing that got me out of my seat because I was literally like on the edge of my seat, and I will hop out and like and yeah, I had to get calmed down a little bit because it was like, yo, this person. No, they did not just do this. They did
Hmm.
not just do this. So, It was a lot of stuff, but that one to me it sticks out the most because it was something that when they announced that many years ago, we were like, Channing Tatum as Gambit,
Yeah.
what? And then it got canceled, and we are like, okay, not then Fox is not gonna mess up another X-Men character movie. And then you see him come out of nowhere. That was great.
Mhm. And I don't know if you know, he was supposed to be in the, I think it was the X-Men Origin ones where they're all in it, where the Gambit is in the movie, but is played by somebody else.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So he was supposed to play Gambit there, but he had scheduling conflicts, so he couldn't play him. So that's
Oh,
why they casted somebody else. So he was very upset about that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he finally got his redemption.
He got his redemption. And don't ever ask Channing Tatum Gambit if he's ready. That's all I gotta say. Because he was born ready. You
He
know
was
what I'm
born
saying?
ready. See, for me, my most memorable moment was when they were sent to the void and seeing the first action fight between Deadpool and Wolverine. And when
Mm,
you see Wolverine get into his stance with his claws, I was like, yo, this moment's about to finally happen. Because, again, the closest thing we ever got to that was the old X Men, again, Wade Wilson, no mouth, shooting laser beams out of his eyes
yeah,
and
that
stuff.
was
That was the
terrible.
closest we ever got to Deadpool versus Wolverine. But seeing him and then seeing Wolverine in his iconic yellow and blue uniform, that was awesome. That
Yeah,
was the best moment for me.
it was good to see him there because obviously they had X-Men and Fox, and they came out
Hmm.
with their own special X-Men suits for the
Yeah.
movie, for the live action, but it didn't do anything for like the comic books. But to see him in that suit, and like
Hmm.
you said, that stance, bro,
Yeah.
that's that you got chills, but like this is what I read many years ago.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't say I'm the biggest X-Men fan. I did watch X-Men back in the days, sitting Saturday mornings watching it. And then I don't kill me. I haven't finished. I know my boy Tony, if he watches this, he's gonna be like, "Are you serious?" I think I'm like 2 episodes away from finishing X-Men 97. But X-Men 97 is amazing. If you have
Yeah.
not seen X-Men
Hmm.
97, like wow. It just brought me back. Like it's one of those things that it felt like all these years passed and X-Men 97 comes out and it didn't feel like anything changed.
Exactly. And it's
It
it's
was
awesome how they continued it exactly where it ended off. And the art on in the show, it looks exactly like it did back then. They didn't try to change anything.
yep.
So I think MCU did an awesome job of continuing that.
So then now, going into this movie, and we knew he was gonna wear the old suit, but
Hmm.
like you said, that moment, it's like, bro, it brings me back to my BMX bikes days, going to Coliseum Comics in Kissimmee
Hmm.
and opening the pages and seeing that.
Exactly.
And now you come back as a 42-year-old man, and I'm watching it on the live screen. It's
Hmm.
just crazy.
And that's why, like the real part where I got goosebumps is when they started charging at each other.
Mm,
In my mind, I thought he was gonna run at Deadpool like he did in the older comic. I mean, in the older movies where he's just running. He got down on all fours like an actual. I know Wolverine is not a wolf, but he was
mhm.
actual wolf stance and charged at him with four on all fours. And I was like, yo, that is crazy to see on the TV. I mean, on the big screen.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but let's get into some of the cameos. So, which I know you said Channing Tatum, so I'm guessing he's your favorite cameo. But who would you say was your most jaw-dropping cameo?
Blade. I would say Blade. I know there was a lot, but Wesley Snipes has been through a lot.
Yeah.
He has the whole, I believe, tax IRS. We haven't seen him in any movies at all
Hmm.
in a while, and it was just good to see him. And I totally forgot that. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was his partner in the movie.
Me too. I did forget
Yeah,
that too.
I forgot that too. So it was so cool, and I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds had something to do with it. But it's like, you know what, we need to bring Blade back. He is Marvel. Those
Hmm.
movies were amazing. I still, think about every time I go to EDC and I hear like techno music, and me and Diana like look at each other.
Yeah.
We remember that Blade movie
When
when
they're in
they're
the
in the
club.
vampire and blood comes out
Yeah.
everywhere. Everybody's like, I'm like, yo, what is going on? But yeah, to me, that was my favorite because it's just more of like, yeah, man, we got to see Wesley one more time.
For sure. And like, I don't know about you, but after I saw him in that movie, I came home and watched a Blade movie because I was like, yo, this is dope. I haven't seen again, especially I love Wesley Snipes, especially in his White Man Can't Jump and
Oh
all
yes,
that, and that's like iconic for me.
Demolition Man. That's one movie
Exactly.
that always stays with me. Demolition Man with him and what's his name? Uh, Rocky. He played Rock. Sylvester
Sylvester
Stallone.
Stallone.
Yeah, Demolition Man. That movie. Back then I had HBO, so HBO was repetitive of showing the same
The
freaking
same movies,
movies
yeah.
all the time. So I don't know how many times I've seen Demolition Man, but yeah, man, it was good to see him.
For sure.
It would be nice. I don't know if they would do anything, but it would be nice to kind of like if he was able to come back and kind of like pass the torch to maybe a new Blade.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. That's why I found real funny when they were going to the battle scene and he pulls out the bazooka and then he says there's only one blade and there will only be one blade. And then when Deadpool turns and looks at the camera and I started dying because you know how they're still trying to get that Blade movie
Yeah,
started. So I thought that part was hilarious.
yeah. I forgot the gentleman's name. I know he was in.
I
He's
think
an
it's
actor in House of.
Mashar Lee or something like that. I know it's
I know
something
him
like that.
from
I can't.
House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I know him from that show House of Cards, and it was supposed to be him and Kit that played Jon Snow.
Uh huh.
He's supposed to be some type of knight, like
Mm.
a knight, and they work together, and it was supposed to be a whole different thing at the end, but I don't know what happened with that. They
Yeah,
just
I know they're going through a lot of directors, a lot of different script writings. Things keep getting taken off, taken on, and even the actor that's gonna play Blade, he's
hmm
already said that he's had a bunch of second thoughts of even playing the character because of how long
damn.
it's taking.
hmm
So it's crazy, but what? How would you rank the cameos? Who would you put number one? And then we can just keep it with the main superheroes. I know we have our like Happy and whatever, but
For me, it would be Blade, Johnny Storm, man.
hmm
And I thought, we talked about it in our podcast. Me and my boy Tony, he knew automatically that he's like, nah, that's Johnny. Because again, me at the time not thinking about it because we saw Happy,
hmm
right? So I'm thinking, oh, Cap, but
yeah,
no, everybody that he brought back was Fox.
exactly.
Fox farmer. So I
hmm
didn't think I was like, oh, Fox, of course. So when he said flame on, bro, I was like, yes,
And what's
thank
crazy,
God.
I was misdirected because you saw when he said that they're coming, he pointed, he
Mm.
had the red and white and blue
Yeah, that's what I
sleeve.
said.
So I was like, oh, this is and because the voice sounded familiar, so I was like, oh,
Mhm,
it's probably another variant of Captain America.
mhm.
But then I can't remember exactly what he said when he was up there, but he cursed. And I was like, wait a minute, Captain
Mm.
America was a curse. But then that falls to maybe it's a different variant of Captain America.
Mhm.
But then when he said flame on, I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So that would have to be then you have Channing Tatum, then obviously you have Electra Nachos.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good to bring her back. You, to me, well, it would not have made sense. Well, it would have made sense, but I don't know. Was that Fox? It had to be Fox, right? Daredevil, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it was Fox. Hmm.
Yeah, if I would have saw Ben Affleck as Daredevil, that would have been kind of freaking crazy.
Yeah, it was funny. Did you catch the joke in the movie when she's like, "Oh, something about Daredevil's dead," and then she's like, "Ah, it's okay."
No, I didn't see that part.
Yeah,
No,
she's
she
he
said, "Oh, Daredevil's dead."
yeah, he's like something about, I don't know how the joke started, but they mentioned like Daredevil's dead, and he said sorry to Elektra, and Elektra's like, "Ah, it's okay." And it took me a minute to process, but I forgot that they were actually married in
Married,
real
yeah.
life. So I was like, ah, that joke's even funnier now because I understand why they
Yeah,
named it that
that
way.
movie, it's I how many times have you actually seen the movie?
6.
6 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, I got to see it only one time. I'm planning on definitely seeing it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my girlfriend that this has to be a movie you watch multiple times
For
because
sure.
there's so many things going on that you're not, even with all the pools coming out. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen screenshots because you know how the internet is. Once a
For
movie's
sure.
out, forget about it. You're gonna see it all over social media. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize that pool. I didn't
Yeah.
recognize that pool. Where was that pool?
Did you see the
And
screenshot where they there was a Great Gatsby pool?
no.
Yeah, there was a Great Gatsby pool to honor Hugh Jackman's movie, The Great
Oh
Gatsby.
my god, are you freaking
Yeah, I was
serious?
dying. I saw that screenshot. I was like, "Yo, that is hilarious."
Oh my god, it's just so many pools there,
Yeah.
but it's so. What was it? What's the name that comes out at the end that everybody likes?
Oh, Peter.
Peter, Peter.
Mm-hmm. Peter Pool.
He had the focus right in the bulge, right? Camera angle goes up. Oh, it's Peter. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, bro.
Yeah, his character has me dying all the time, especially when like they're like all group up around him and they're all Peter, 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 and they're like all sticking their fingers in his mouth and stuff just to celebrate Peter. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
But that's what I say. Like this movie has so. It's a movie you have to watch again. You just have to
Yeah.
watch again. I haven't seen. Maybe you would know because I
Hmm.
will come for you for any Deadpool information. Have they announced a steel DVD Blu-ray
I have
case
not
yet?
seen anything yet, and I've been keeping up because I have the two Deadpool movies, and they have the steel case, and they come with like special stuff inside.
Hmm.
So I've been keeping an ear out for that to add to my collection
Yeah,
because I
because
need to.
I know they're probably gonna come up with different versions. Because I
Hmm.
mean, we haven't talked about it, but all the popcorn buckets that they came out with was crazy.
Exactly.
And I thought I only going into the movie, I only knew about the Wolverine one with his mouth open, and then I knew about the Deadpool, like just his head,
Hmm.
and then I knew about the baby. But then afterwards, I found out that there was what's the one that's the skeleton pool? What is his
Oh,
name?
Headpool.
Head pool,
Hmm.
right? And then they have a taxi
Yeah.
popcorn,
Pender's pool.
yeah, and I'm like, bro, what the heck is going on? Like, usually there's one bucket
Po-
and that's it. Not all these buckets. It was crazy.
and that's what I thought it was gonna be. And I thought they were just gonna come out with two different versions. I thought it was gonna be the Wolverine one that we first saw, where he has
Hmm.
his mouth open, and then I thought they were gonna either come out with another Deadpool version of that, and then the two cups. But
Hmm.
then if you go to every single different theater had a different type of popcorn bucket. Like for me, the Regal Theater here was only giving out the baby pool, and
Yeah.
then it was giving out the steel can one, and then just two cups with Deadpool or Wolverine sitting in like a theater seat. That's the only thing they were giving out in ours.
Mm.
So I don't know what theater you go to, if it's an AMC or a Regal, but I don't know if they were giving something similar or different.
Everything was sold out.
Oh
Everything was
yeah.
sold out. So whatever, so people started going early. So they
Mm-hmm.
received all the merch stuff early, and people were going in and asking for it. So I know a couple of the guys that got the baby Deadpool popcorn bucket,
Mm-hmm.
and they got it I think Tuesday before the movie came out, and then they
Oh,
just
that's
brought it
crazy.
back to fill it up with popcorn. Some of them didn't even open it. They're like, "Nah, I'm not gonna touch this because this is just too good."
Y-
But I'm like, I was like, what the heck, bro? I mean, it would have been cool. I probably would have been debating, but when we went, everything was sold out. And I was
mhm.
like, okay, good. Thank God I don't have to spend money. But I don't know where to put it somewhere here.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, that was it was good, man. The movie of the summer, definitely. You can see the numbers. You can
Oh yeah.
see the memes, the videos, everybody
Mhm.
reposting. I got people that I would never think of them going to the movie theaters to watch Deadpool or saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go see Deadpool on Saturday." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Have you
And
watched any Deadpool
that's what I think
movies?"
because that's what makes Deadpool great because it's like he's not just a superhero; he's a comedian.
Hmm.
So especially if you understand pop culture and then other stuff too, he references a lot of that stuff in the movie. Like my girlfriend, she watches movies like that, but her favorite show is she still watches it now. It's Gossip Girl. And when he's laying
Mm.
on the floor and saying there's 206 bones in a human body and 207 when I'm watching Gossip Girl, she started rolling because she knows the joke is about his wife, Blake Lively. So there's a joke in there for everybody. So that's why I feel like it's a great movie for everybody and people want to see it.
Yeah, but not for kids though. Not for kids.
Hey, you'd be surprised how many kids I saw in that theater.
I mean, as long as they're like maybe 10 and up, man, nothing 10 and low, bro. Because that
Yeah,
first opening scene,
yo, it's crazy.
oof. I was like, Disney, you ready for this? 'Cause all this blood.
Speaking of opening scene, do you think that's one of the best opening scenes for an MCU movie?
Hmm. I think I will have to go back and watch other MCU movies. I the one that kind of I think it was the opening scene. I could be wrong. Um, I'm thinking about the Avengers and that mountain in the snow. Was that an opening scene to a movie? You know, all the Avengers were going up the mountain. Or that was like towards the end. I
I
can't
think that was
remember.
towards the end.
It was towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay, because but it's a to me it's something that would never go away. The number
Mm-mm.
one they used the NSYNC song.
Did you
That's
see, by
what.
the way, did you see that they changed the name on YouTube? It's no longer in sync and then the bye bye bye. It's called the Deadpool song.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. And it's
Wow.
I think they said it's the number one watched music video since Deadpool came out.
Yeah, I know that song reached the top 20 and download streams, and I was like, wow. And you know, my girlfriend called it. She's like, watch this. She said NSYNC and Madonna are gonna be like the top stream
Yeah.
songs by
Mm-hmm.
the end of next week. And it was true. It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know how your TikTok stream is, but every two videos, either in sync, something Deadpool related, or Madonna. That's how
Yeah,
it
well,
be.
so now I see that, and the thing is, I don't know how they get these leak information because it's the video's so clear, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody has the Deadpool dancing, and then they did like the split, and they doing like the TikTok, and they're kind of like mimicking Deadpool
Oh yeah.
when the dance and all that stuff.
Uh huh.
That was pretty cool to see that. I'm like, it's the same dance that NSYNC does, but everybody's like, no, I'm gonna do the
The
Deadpool
Deadpool
dance.
dance,
And
yeah.
it's
They
like,
call it the
really?
Deadpool dance. That's
Um,
hilarious. Yeah. But speaking of like cameos and stuff like that, not that we saw Deadpool and Wolverine interact with all the older Fox characters. Who would you want to see him interact with the newer MCU characters? Or if you want to throw somebody old that wasn't in the movie, who do you think would be an awesome?
I definitely would love to see him interact with Spider-Man.
You talking about Deadpool?
Yeah, I would
Yes.
like Deadpool with Spider-Man. We already know in the comics, them too.
Oh
You
yeah, they're
know,
like,
we already know
uh
they
huh.
both got smart mouths. I don't know, but see, this is the thing. The question, you know, I always it's weird, you know, if everybody had the vision of what's in my mind, I always
Hmm.
question myself. Okay, I want to see him with Spider-Man, but is Tom Holland the Spider-Man I want to see him with?
Me
I
personally, I
I
would
would
love to see Tobey Maguire.
Toby, and that's the thing. Yeah, I feel
Hmm.
Toby, or it would have been funny It would have been funny if something where and you have to, the thing is you would have to get Sony involved and all that stuff. I hate this stupid Sony thing. It's a Marvel character, let it happen.
Hmm.
But it would have been funny if, like, you know how he was traveling to see different Wolverines and all that stuff. They by accidentally he traveled and he got to that moment where all three Spider-Mans are looking at each other and he's like,
Yeah.
that would have been kind of funny, because it would have been funny if all of them are pointing at each other and it's like Deadpool.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I would like to see him interact with Deadpool, but I also would like to see him interact with the Avengers. Period. I just want to
Yeah.
see, like, all of them are serious. Like, we got to go to the high top. You gotta do this. You got to do this, and you're like, what you want me to do, or something like that, or is it just laughing? You know.
Yeah. Like me, it falls in that. I would love to see. Obviously, I read a lot of the Deadpool comics, and 9 times out of 10, if you're reading a Deadpool comic, Spider Man's in somewhere in one of the issues. He's gonna be, because it's funny in the comic books, Deadpool is like in love with Spider Man. He has some weird obsession with him, which is a funny obsession. But if I get a chance to ever see Hugh Jackman Wolverine with Tobey Maguire Spider Man in a movie,
Ooh,
that would be my younger 2000s bucket list wish for sure.
bro, that and if let's say they made that happen,
Hmm.
oh, a lot of people would go see that 100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, a
And
lot
I,
of people when Spider-Man came out and there was Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, that was the movie of the summer.
hmm,
That was the movie of the summer. So if you get them involved with Hugh Jackman, and because technically Spider-Man is part of the Avengers,
yep. Hmm.
and
And
so is
if
Wolverine.
all the rumors are true of what's going to happen in these next two Avengers movie, because they said that Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is gonna be in the next two Avenger movies. In what capacity? Nobody knows,
Hmm.
obviously, but they said that also Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland Spider Man is gonna be in those two Avengers movies
Oh
also.
my God, you're talking about, like, Disney's taking everybody's money right now. Right now, it's like that
I'm like, you
that
can put
meme with that person
oh,
slamming
the
their
person
hands with a
slamming on and
credit
just
card.
take the credit card.
Take it, bro, take it. You're talking about Hot Toys,
Oh my
action
god, yeah.
figures, comic book, like, so many things are gonna come out. Just think about the poster. But again, like, I used to read a lot of comics back in the days. The one that I'm looking forward to, if they do this, is X-Men versus Avengers. I don't
Yes.
know how they
Oh
would do it,
man.
because the whole
Mm-hmm.
premise of the Phoenix and Jean, and I believe it was the daughter. It
Mm-hmm.
was the daughter of Jean, that she also
Uh-huh.
has the powers of the Phoenix, and
Yes.
the X-Men were trying to protect her. The Avengers were like, we need to
Yeah.
eliminate her.
Mm-hmm.
That comic right there, that
That would be
arc.
insane.
Oh my god. Oh my
That would
god.
be insane. That would be literally, you can take double my credit cards for that because I
Yeah,
want to go see that.
yeah, because I remember rereading it, and this is when I got digital comics. I was like, look at me, digital comics, saving paper. But I was like, literally, like, I remember that when I came out, I was married. So my ex-wife was like, "What are you doing? You're so quiet." Because I'm,
Uh-huh.
she's not hearing me playing Call of Duty with my friends or anything like that. It's like, I'm reading, and she's like, "You're
Mm.
reading? You're reading?" I said, "Yeah, a comic book."
Yeah, you know
But
what's
that
funny?
X-Men.
That actually happened to me. Well, I do I do both. I go and buy comics, but I
Mhm.
also do the digital. I read the digitals when I'm about to go to sleep.
Mm.
So yesterday I was reading the digital ones, and my girlfriend looks over and she's like, "Are you reading?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What are you reading?" "Comic books." She's like, "You're reading comic books?" It's like, "Yeah." And she sees the big, because I had the Marvel app, so I can
Oh,
they
okay.
adjust the columns to fit like widescreen on your phone. So she sees the big Deadpool because I'm reading the Deadpool and Wolverine comic books that they're currently coming out with, and she's like, "Of course you're reading that right now."
You're like, duh, I gotta stay into the information.
Exactly.
Hello.
Uh huh. I
But
gotta know.
But that would be dope to get Spider. You have to have either a scene, a moment. It has to be Deadpool and Spider Man
Mm-hmm.
to make the Spider Man and Deadpool fans happy. These two have to interact.
Exactly. It has to. And like I said, if they can find a way to make Tobey Maguire talk to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and then I don't care what Spider-Man it is. Obviously, preference would be Tobey Maguire's, but if you can interact Deadpool the way he
Mm,
interacts with Spider-Man in the comic books, I'm a happy camper.
exactly.
I can go to sleep happily. So, what were your would now? What would you like to see Wolverine and Deadpool go from here in the MCU? Because now we know how it ends. We
Hmm.
know he's part of it. Where do you want to see him go from here?
I would like to see them form a team.
Mm-hmm.
I would like them to see, and maybe that's what they're good. Yeah,
X
exactly.
Force. We
We
need
need
to see
X
the X
Force
Force.
and form a team. It would be dope to kind of like lead it into them, going to Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could see that these are two great leaders. They form X Force. They go on their own Avengers and then adventures, and then they end up linking up with the Avengers in the movie. That would
Yeah.
be kind of like a tie-in too. But definitely, like I know there was rumors of Wolverine versus Hulk, because
I
we
hope.
know that that's
Mm-hmm.
how it's supposed to originally started. I don't
Yep.
know how they're gonna do it because that's supposed to be like Wolverine's origin
Yep.
kind of
That's how he
story and
gets introduced into the
into
into the world.
MCU. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like we really don't need that because we already have X-Men Wolverine
Mm-hmm.
origin that already came out. But maybe that could be something where maybe they're in a mission to, like I said, build the team, but the team that they're actually building, we're gonna think is X Force, but the team that they're actually building is the Avengers.
Yeah.
Is Wolverine and them going back? Maybe they do go back into different multiverses and grab, because they're gonna need Hulk. And
Mm-hmm.
I could see Deadpool be like, no, no, you go talk to him. You go talk to him. And then all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden you see Hugh Jackman fly and hits a tree and like he cracks his neck and like blood and he's
Uh-huh.
regenerating. He's like, I tried, now it's your turn. And then I can see Hulk going like this to Deadpool and Deadpool like
Swinging him around.
screaming
Yeah.
and swinging around. And then finally he joins with them and then they go and get other people. That would be kind of dope. It would have
Yeah.
to be a situation where the world's coming to an end. But I don't know how they're gonna do it because you do have Fantastic Four that are coming out, but that's set in the '60s. But I
Mm-hmm.
think they're gonna be fast forward to the future.
Yeah, I think they
They,
said from if the speculations and stuff like I read all that stuff.
mm,
One of the ones that I'm seeing consistently is that they're being transported or their world is about to end or whatever, and they end up in where the either the MCU timeline is now.
mhm.
So in Earth 616, which is a main MCU. So that's from what I've read, but who knows how exactly they're going to incorporate the Fantastic Four into the timeline now.
And then
So
with that big announcement with what's his name,
Robert
Robert
Downey
Downey
Jr.
Jr. A lot of people are not liking that. Is rubbing
Yeah.
them the wrong way. But I mean, if Marvel's gonna, if anybody's gonna make it sense, it's gonna make Kevin Feige's gonna make it sense. Make sense.
Hmm.
He's not Catherine Kennedy for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Catherine Kennedy, there's a lot of decisions that have been made under her realm that, a lot of people in the Star Wars community right now are not liking Acolyte. They're not liking a lot of the decisions we made. The sequels were, trash to a lot of people in the Star Wars community. Kevin Feige is not like that.
Yeah, and that's
So
why I'm glad they referred back to quality over quantity because I felt like every month there was something new MCU being released, either on
mhm.
a movie or streaming service or cartoon that was involved with the MCU timeline, and I feel like it was hard to keep up, and then a lot of the stuff they were just dropping wasn't good at all.
Yeah, I think it was a good moment to say time out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pause. Let's figure out what's going on because like we're kind of derailing of what we normally do. And that's
Yeah.
one thing is like every Marvel movie hit. Iron Man, Thor, Captain
Yep.
America, Iron Man 2, the Avengers, and then you had was it Captain America 2,
Mm-hmm.
Thor 2, and then they had Iron Man 3, I think it was, then the other Avenger movie, then Civil War, like everything just like, it was like perfect. It was like
Yeah.
I would
You
like
know.
to see this
Yeah.
storybook.
You knew if you went to go see an MCU movie, you knew it was going to be great, and you knew you weren't going to leave the theater disappointed.
And you had to
And
wait to the end.
exactly, and you had to stay for the end credits. I know so a lot of people that were like, these movies really not intriguing me like that anymore, not clicking to me. Some people would leave before the end credits scenes would come out because they wouldn't really care what's going on next.
But yeah, but sticking back to the story, I know I could go sideways, but what would you like to see the next Wolverine and Deadpool, like what they do next after this movie?
See, with me, I'm 50-50 because that's where I revert back to the Doom, Doctor Doom playing by Robert Downey Jr. Because I've actually read the comics where Tony Stark is Doctor Doom,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm intrigued to see if they do it in that version of it.
Mm.
Because then again, I would like to see how you were saying like the characters going to different worlds and collecting different heroes to create their Avengers. Because again, Doctor Doom is one of the most powerful villains in the MCU, so they're gonna need it a lot of help. So again,
A lot of help.
a
Yeah,
lot.
because the Fantastic Four movie from back in the days from Fox does not play the
No,
what Doctor Doom is actually is like.
yeah, they do him no
There's a
justice.
reason why he got his own ride at Universal Studios, folks. 'Cause he's the, but and
Yeah.
so I'm not familiar with that story, but somebody told me recently. So it was Victor Van Doom and Tony Stark. They knew each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then something happened to their brain or
Yeah,
their
so they
personality.
went to school together, and if I remember correctly, because it's a couple years since I've seen or read the book, they went to college together, and I think they had a falling or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember if it's either Doctor Victor Von Doom or Tony Stark create a machine where they switch bodies or brains and keep the bodies, and Tony Stark becomes this billionaire and all that, but in the mind, he's Victor Von Doom. And then he
Mm,
becomes Doctor Doom while still having the money and all that to become Iron Man. So that's what I remember from the books.
yeah, that's what somebody told me. So, I mean, I think like again, it was a shock. It
Mm-hmm.
was a cool shock. I actually I'm for it. I'm team Robert Downey Jr. I'm team,
Mm-hmm.
Doom. Let's go make it happen. I'm already picturing I need to somehow get the hot toy of Tony Stark in the Iron Man suit because I know there's gonna be a Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. Doom, and I just want to have them too because
Mm-hmm.
my favorite of the movies, my favorite character, I was always Team Iron Man.
Yeah.
Always Team Iron Man. To me, he's the one that started it with Iron Man number one. That movie is classic, and again, he's the one that saved all of us at the end and
Mm-hmm.
took his life. So I feel like they would do justice, with him, and it would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna explain it. They're not gonna just say or pretend like, what's his name, Christopher Evans and
Uh-huh.
Johnny Storm
Johnny Stark.
and Captain America. I mean, come on, you
Yeah.
guys were okay with that, right?
Uh,
I didn't see you guys bitching and
Mhm.
complaining about that, but
That's funny. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it'll be interesting if they do follow that tree where he is Tony Stark playing Victor Von Doom. Because if they do revert to how they're doing in the Deadpool movie, where they say that like for example, Hugh Jackman's Logan, he was the beacon of the
Mm.
work of that timeline. So what if Tony Stark was the beacon of 616 and the
Mm.
world is ending? So they try to do basically what Deadpool tried to do and pull a Tony Stark and put him into the 616.
But it's not Tony Stark.
But it's
It's
not
not.
Tony Stark. Is Victor
Uh,
Von Doom.
ooh, see, there you go. Boom.
See, MCU, sign me up. I'll write the script. That's hilarious. So, final thoughts. What'd you think about the movie? Give me your final thoughts on the movie.
So the story. Okay, so if you, I'll be 100% honest with you. The story about the different timelines and finding different Logan, Wolverine, and bringing them back and protecting his timeline so it doesn't die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the story was okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it wasn't the best story. I think if you take out Wolverine, take out Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, and take out Deadpool, right, and Ryan Reynolds, and
Mm-hmm.
replace them with two other MCU characters to try to do this. Let's say, and I know a lot of people are gonna not like this,
Mm-hmm.
but let's say it was Loki, and it was a Loki movie,
Yeah.
and Loki was doing it again with the TVA, and he's going in to protect the timeline, and he goes to the void and he sees all these other old characters. I don't think the movie's that successful.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I think the two it's a type of movie where the two characters are so beloved and we were waiting for them to team up together that it
Mm-hmm.
made the movie so great. There was a lot
Yeah.
of great cameos. There was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of awesome fights. There was a lot of awesome references to 90s, to old MCU or Fox
Mm-hmm.
characters. So there was a lot of things. There were so many things in there packed into one that when you look at it, it made it a great movie, right?
Yeah.
So you think about it, if you had like a party and you had, open buffet, like with
Yeah.
different types of food, an ice cream machine, a DJ, dance floor, you're gonna be like, yo, this is an awesome party.
Yeah.
But if you just had finger foods, um, a nice, soft music, it smells like Bath and Beyond in there, and people are just chatting, then you'd be like, it's all right.
Yeah.
It had some good finger foods. It was cool. We got to talk, mingle a little bit. So it's a little different. I think they jam packed it with so much stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that the writing on how they were going to do the movie, that was the part that took them the longest. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, how we're going to make this make sense. And
Yeah.
they did. At the end, they tied everything together and it made sense. But I feel like if you just take Deadpool out and Wolverine and put two different MCU characters in there, the movie probably would have been like what's that last movie that came out? The Marvels.
Oh, the Marvels.
It
Yeah.
it would have been the Marvels.
Yeah.
But Ryan Reynolds is not gonna settle for anything for less. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do his homework. He's gonna do something that he's gonna make sure that he made sure that this movie has something for everybody.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause like me personally, like honestly, obviously, I'm a Deadpool fan. I'm always gonna rate his stuff 100 out of 10.
Mhm.
I just felt like the villain was, eh, she was okay. Like I got it. I got you trying to tie her into Charles Xavier and all that, but I
Mhm.
just felt like for such a big two main characters you're bringing in, strong characters, I felt like the villains should have been at that peak, especially if you're bringing old characters from the Fox. Why not probably bring somebody old too to
Oh,
be the villain?
that would have been pretty dope. Or a matter of fact, be like, you know what? You're gonna bring old people back too. I got old people back and bring all the villains back.
Exactly.
Because if they did that for Spider Man,
Mm-hmm.
they did that for Spider Man, and it was tough because they had to defeat all those old villains.
Exactly. because
So,
then they could have fell into the part of their the villains don't want to say goodbye either.
hmm
Like it's either you guys or us, and I don't want to be stuck in the void, and I want my story to continue. So that's what I felt like they should have done. Either how you said, brought in a couple villains, older villains from different movies, or bring somebody new, but like damn, this I'm scared of this person too.
hmm
But that's the only negative that I saw in the movie was the villain. But
yeah, I think a lot of people. So a lot of people didn't like the story of the Void, but they loved the old characters coming back.
hmm
So it was a mixture of things. Like we love that we got this old content and everybody got to repraise their role and the Fox, but then
mm,
they, like you said, they didn't like the main villain, and they did have some villains there like Juggernaut and what was it, Weapon X and
yeah,
Sabretooth,
Toad and Sabretooth, yeah.
Toad, yeah, like, but it wasn't anything like, man, are you
Yeah,
serious? Like something like
exactly.
crazy.
hmm That's why I said I feel like they could have done a little bit better on the villain side for sure.
hmm
But other than
But
that, the movie was great in my opinion.
yeah,
But
and like I said, the movie has something for everybody,
hmm
and if you pay attention, it's gonna remind you of so many things, either
exactly.
comic book wise, 90s theme, like the old Fox, X-Men,
hmm
so many things. So that's why I felt like Ryan Reynolds did his job to make sure that even if maybe the story is not the best, or even if the villain is not like the top villain, because maybe we don't even know, maybe they had other ideas and other actors couldn't reprise their role. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe the gentleman that played the original Magneto passed away.
Did he?
I think so. The original from X-Men.
I would have to look that up
I
because I.
could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I believe the original Magneto from X-Men, because I believe he also played Gandalf the Grey
hmm
and White from Lord of the Rings. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have been kind of crazy if they had like the original Magneto from X-Men come back,
hmm
or I didn't see. Did you see Mystique? I don't remember seeing Mystique, right?
No, she wasn't in there.
She wasn't in it. So even if it wasn't what's the girl's name from the young Mystique
hmm
from Hunger Games? I can't believe that I forgot her name. But they didn't even have Rebecca Romaine
Yeah.
or Stamos. Not She's not Stamos no more, but Rebecca Romaine reprised her role
Oh yeah, that would have
as
been dope.
Mystique. That would have been
hmm
crazy. But I think overall, like you said, they put out something really good, and it made sense. And was there opportunities for like the writing? Probably, but they put so much stuff in there that it left the movie good. And then just seeing Hugh and Ryan work together again,
Yeah,
because
I don't know if you saw one of the cameos that was supposed to happen. It's just conflicts with timing and all that. So Nicolas Cage was actually supposed to be in the movie. He was supposed to reprise his Ghost Rider role.
oh no,
Yeah,
that would have
but
been
dude,
freaking
no, but they
awesome.
said due to like scheduling conflicts, because I right now Nicolas Cage is I feel like he's in everything again.
hmm
So I think he was either filming what's the movie that he's in right now that's in the theater, that horror movie, Long Legs or something like that.
Yeah, long legs, long legs.
I
Yeah.
think he was filming that at the same
Yeah.
time, and he couldn't make the parts to be able to shoot with Deadpool.
It would have been hilarious if Johnny said flame on and he
Mm-hmm.
comes out, no, this is how you do the flame.
Exactly.
And then, oh my god, that would have been crazy.
I can only imagine because I've read some comics with Deadpool and Ghost Rider, and
hmm
he's hilarious. He like try Deadpool's main goal in all the books is to try to blow Ghost Rider's head off. He keeps like, I would have died if I saw that on
he's
the
such an
screen.
ass, bro. He's an
Yeah,
ass.
that's funny. But the only question that I do have is why was Thor crying?
Who?
Thor. Why was he
Thor.
crying? Yeah, when he was holding Deadpool at the beginning.
What? Am I not Thor
Oh
was
man,
crying?
oh man, you're missing the biggest joke of the whole thing. So when Deadpool gets to the TVA for the first time, and
Mm-hmm.
they're showing him the MCU timeline, and they accidentally fast forward to the future, and Deadpool's on the ground, and he's in Thor's holding him in his hands, and Thor's crying, and Deadpool's like putting his finger like on Thor's face, and then the guy's like, "Yo, turn it off," and then Deadpool keeps saying, "Why was Thor crying?" And then that's the joke throughout the whole movie. Like, why was Thor crying?
Bro, for real?
Yeah.
Why
And now
why
he's
I'm
like,
not thinking about that?
oh my God, come on,
What was like you see the movie like six
man.
times. I'm trying to remember everything.
And that's like
What mo-
that's the main joke on all the those are the memes main one of the main memes besides obviously the bye 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 dances and all
Mhm.
that is they're like serious question, and then like the biggest serious question. Why
Why
was
was
Thor
Thor
crying?
crying? Do we even know why Thor was crying? Was crying?
Nope, nope. And then that's where one of the things leads to is probably we're gonna see why he was crying in later movies or in one of
Oh,
the future movies.
oh, wow! I can't believe now. I feel like I have to go see it now because I don't really like. I remember now that you saying Thor, but I don't, did he say it every single time in the movie?
He said it
Or
like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie, especially
wow,
when the TVA agents would come. He would always ask the TVA agents why was Thor crying. Uh,
bro! Oh my god!
yeah, I wish I had that scene. I would pull it up and show it to you. But
I now I have to go
see, that's why
as
you
soon as
gotta see. Now
now
it's not
this
so
is a
funny that I see the movie 6 times because I know every little detail.
well, now why was Thor crying? Wow, now that's what I'm gonna think about the
See
rest of the
now,
night.
now is the same thought that Deadpool has all this time. Now you have it.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be like, why the hell Thor is crying? You know what? I'm gonna ask. My girlfriend is someone that can remember the most smallest thing.
Hmm.
Like she won't remember that I said, "Hey, tomorrow I'm gonna go to my parents' house," but she'll remember what happened in the scene in this movie
Uh
7
huh.
years ago. It
Oh
just
man.
like her, it just pops up. So watch her be like, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, do you remember the scene with what was Thor and Deadpool?" And she was like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, why was?" Watch her say, "Yeah, why was
Yeah,
Thor
and
crying?"
you're like, where was I during this scene? That's funny, but I appreciate your time. This is awesome. I love talking comics with you, nerdy stuff. You know, you're my guy with all this stuff. So I'm glad we got to do
Definitely.
this.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. If
Mm,
you got more MCU stuff, we could go through it. Heck, we could
absolutely.
rewatch some of the movies now that man,
Hmm.
Fox. Shout out to Fox. Rest in peace, Fox. That's what it felt like.
He's sleeping in the void, the logo. But all right, everybody, I appreciate you joining the Mercs on the Mic podcast. And like I say, yes, your pants are getting tight right now from this show. Catch you guys later.
Peace.
Just